Hey guys, today I want to show you a shape that it's just full of amazing goodies. I've gotten a lot of mileage out of it, and a lot of other people have as well, especially if you're going to be playing sort of blues, rock, kind of country stuff. This is kind of, you know, essential to know this. So I'm going to show you the shape, and then I'm going to talk about, you know, there's a certain way you're going to use the shape as well. It's not just knowing the shape, but certain ways stylistically you can get the most out of it. So it's basically a minor pentatonic shape, but unlike the shape that, you know, you're used to learning. So that's sort of the first shape most of us learn with the minor pentatonic, but you can also learn that shape down the neck as well. So we're going to start on the same note, but instead of going up, we go down. So then that ends up being this. Cool. Now we're going to add one thing to this scale. I'm going to sort of like have that scale shape in my head, but then I'm also going to have this sort of A power chord in my head as well. Like I'm kind of thinking of the two at the same time. So let's play this A power chord, and then over the top of it with your other fingers that are free, we'll play the scale. Cool. So now we've got the shape, we've got sort of the foundation of what we're doing. Now let's talk about how to add some, you know, some of that special sauce we want to give to it. So with the style of music that we're talking about here, blues, rock, country sort of stuff, the interesting thing about it is the tonality sort of, you know, lives somewhere between major and minor. You know, it's not fully minor, it's not fully major. Kind of like swims sort of, you know, through a little channel between the two. Now, part of the way you can sort of express that or bring that out in your playing is you can use these kind of micro bends on some of the notes, a couple of the notes in that scale, to really bring out some of that attitude, some of that junk we're going for, right? And those two notes are the minor third and the flat seventh, or the minor seventh, right? So where they're located in the scale, here's the minor third. So if we give that a little sort of like micro bend, and then a good way to hear it in context is resolve back to that power chord, right? And then the other note I was talking about is the flat 7, and that's located here. You can do the same thing, right? So if we sort of put them together, great. Now, those two notes can also move up the octave, so up higher in the scale. So the minor third would be here, played with your pinky. And the minor seventh, the flat seventh. So if you kind of combine those four options together, you can get... That's starting to sound pretty cool, right? Now, the great thing you can do is, say if you're playing, you know, like a kind of a standard, you know, kind of rock and roll part, right? So if you're going... You can add some of these flourishes in, and I like to do it sort of in the spaces. There might be a vocal phrase, and then it's sort of like comes in and fills some of the space after the vocal phrase. So you might have 2 bars of like a vocal phrase, or 2 or 4 bars, and then fill in that space with some of these ideas. So it's a great way to sort of, you've got your rhythm playing, but you're adding more to it. Like it's not just sort of one dimensional. You're starting to add more dimensions to that rhythm playing. Now, a really cool thing is if you're starting to delve more into country land, the thing about that is the tonality starts leaning more heavily towards a major kind of sound, right? Now, so to kind of achieve that, we need to focus now more on the major third. So we have the minor third here. Now, if we sort of go from the minor third to that major third, we can sort of start getting this sound, right? So that's the 4th fret. There's the major third. Cool stuff. Now, there's obviously so much more that you can use with this shape. You can start even getting into a bit of a Mixolydian kind of sound. So much there, and the open strings really sort of like can bring out like a nice big fat tone in your parts. So make sure, as well as knowing that standard minor pentatonic shape, really check out this other shape as well. Yeah, as I said, you get a lot of mileage out of it. All right, so we'll leave it there, and I'll catch you in the next one.